Good evening and welcome to Mental Health Matters After Hours. This is the show where we discuss all things mental health and well-being. And we are thrilled to have a returning guest on again. We've got Jono Poon. He is the ambassador for the Man Cave. He talks a lot about men's mental health and he is inspiring other people by sharing his own stories. So we are so grateful to have you back on the topic of vulnerability. What a huge topic.
Thank you. Great to be back.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, it's really lovely to have you back, Jono. Sorry, and you wanted to come back and talk about the subject of vulnerability. Why is that something that's really important to you?
Well, vulnerability, I believe, is important to me, at least, because I learned over my life that I thought vulnerability was like a weakness, where
Very common,
strength is shown through keeping everything to myself, bottling everything up, not showing any emotions, not asking for help, and learning to do everything myself.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned over time was not true, was not the right way of doing it. And I learned vulnerability was more important, was because I could say that I'm not okay. And that I can ask for help. And let people meet me where I'm struggling. And actually be honest about what I'm going through, what's happening in the world, what's I'm going through, how am I feeling overwhelmed with responsibilities and all of those stuff. And I think life can take over easily when you're chasing your career, your jobs, you got bills, and then your family, relationships, all sorts of everything just starts piling up, health and all sorts, right?
It's true. Absolutely.
So it's easy to bottle everything up and go, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's easy, isn't it? It's almost like if you unpack it, it's too much, and it becomes even more overwhelming.
Exactly. So I can see why people do find it easier just to keep it all in. So in the context of a healthy life, then you've just explained why it's important to be vulnerable. Why do we try to hide it then? Why do we try to hide what's going on? Why are we not keen to be vulnerable?
At least for me, anyway, this is what's true for me. When I don't ask for help, I feel like I want to control everything.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I want to keep everything in order. I feel like I want to demonstrate to people, I got this. But that's more of a validation and approval seeking in a way. And most, at least when I try to hide behind vulnerability or behind not asking for help, it's my anxieties, my depression, anger, everything that's bottling up inside where I don't want to show emotions because I feel like that's a weakness. But that's something that's been conditioned over time growing up in a Chinese culture. We suppress emotions. We're told boys don't cry, men should be strong, they don't show emotions and all of this. And there's that. So growing up I thought, showing emotions means weakness. So don't say anything about how I'm feeling and all those, and just bottle everything up and just go along with life.
That is really interesting because you went to a feeling of control, and I think that's really key, because I think it's very easy for people to go, it's a male thing, it's a cultural thing, and it's a female thing as well, because I think women, especially in leadership, they feel scared to show any vulnerability because they think they've clawed their way up there. But I think what you said as well that was really interesting was, I guess, how the culture affects you. Because I know, I get it, and I know where you're coming from. How much of that, and this is a personal question, because this is coming from my own experience, when you don't ask for help, how much of that is because actually I need to protect my parents from looking vulnerable? Because that's something that was quite big for me. I spoke English fluently. I knew the English system. My parents were migrants. And it's like, they didn't want to cause trouble, so I needed to protect them. So how much of that plays into it, if any?
Yeah, well, it was like we were our parents' personal assistants when we were like 7 or like 10. We were translating or interpreted everything that was going on. Phone conversations, doctor's appointments, car insurances, everything. So it felt like we were an adult when we were kids. So a lot of that influence was, oh, I got this. Again,
Yes!
I got this.
I'm feeling that right now.
I'm totally on it, even though I'm like 12.
Yes!
7. Like, but I'm just a kid. And so then everything now is, I got this, I don't need help.
Yeah.
Even if I want help, or I really need help, like organising events, trainings, and things that you bring people, podcasts and student
not
recordings.
even related to your parents.
Not related to the parents, but anything I do, I just don't ask for help. Even though I need people to do. Like if you're doing a multi-speaker event, you need people organising, registration, systems, processes, all sorts. You need help. But I would feel inclined to go, it's okay, I've got everything under control. I'll do everything there is to do. You're a marketer, you're a business owner, you're an accountant, you're everything. Like, that's not how life works.
No, and it's not how success works either, actually. You have to collaborate.
It's a team game. Life is a team game, but I brought up to be so solo in my journey that I struggled to ask for help. So when it came to things like mental health, burnout, bereavement, any of the struggles I had in life that I really struggled with, I failed to ask for help.
Yeah.
And I learned the hard way by going through it in the dark, deep depression, the anxiety, the overwhelming thoughts, suicidal thoughts and all sorts. Like, I learned the hard way. So now I encourage people to learn the easy way by expressing. I say easier. It's something that you can learn how to do. But it takes a lot of strength and courage to do so. And something you learn over time.
Yes, and you need a safe space to do it, I think, because I think sometimes I'm sure we've all experienced, I'm sure our viewers have experienced as well, when you've expressed and then you've kind of gone, oh no, I've overshared to the wrong person. That person's not going to help me at all. In fact, they're going to share my secrets. We need the right people as well, the people who are actually going to hold that anxiety for us. Which is, I think, something that the Man Cave does really beautifully. I think your work that you do is absolutely brilliant. But before we get on to that, what is the difference to you between vulnerability and weakness? Because no one wants to look incompetent. There is that as well. No one wants to look like they can't do something. And we all, to feel good about ourselves, do want that level of competency. But that's not quite vulnerability there, is it? It's something different.
So for weakness and vulnerability, it's how you define it.
Yes.
So the definition you give it. Everyone's got different definitions.
Love it.
For me, weakness is something that you give your power away to. So avoiding the responsibilities, not taking ownership for things that you said you would do, or shying away to avoid to do.
Yes.
There might be, sales calls, for instance, at work. You don't like doing those. As an introvert, I hate calls. So I can relate to that. So that's something I need to learn to do, right? So that's a weakness for me, is that I avoid sales calls.
Yeah.
But vulnerability is being able to go, I struggle with sales calls, but I can learn how to communicate and maybe reframe what sales call is. A lot of people are saying, oh, sales is scamming and misleading and all those. But if you reframe it and go, actually selling is serving.
Yeah.
I'm offering a service that could help you.
Yeah.
And just change it that way. And again, that's the meaning and the definition you have to give it, right? So you have to be careful with that. And that's something that worked for me.
Yes. Yes. And then actually, I use 3 different words there as well. Vulnerability, weakness, and incompetence. Whereas we kind of link vulnerability with incompetence. And that's not true.
No, it's not.
That's almost psychologically the feeling. If I have to ask for help, it means I'm incompetent. It doesn't. It's a different word.
It does. I mean, going back to what you said, your sales calls, vulnerability would be saying to a colleague or a friend or whoever's working with you, I really don't like doing this and I don't feel like I can do it, but please could you do it? So delegating, that's a strength, isn't it? But it's being vulnerable at the same time.
It is. But I think with that you do need to add on, but I'm willing to learn.
Yeah,
as well.
yes.
Otherwise, it's pushing it onto somebody
Yeah,
else and not.
absolutely.
So there is. It's a grey area to unpack, which is why I'm glad we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice.
It's really interesting.
So how do we then balance resilience, which is a good thing? You know, I can do it. I can find how. If I don't know how, I will learn. With being open to support, because I know when I was rewriting my PhD, I was told unequivocally by the head of all the PhDs, she said, "We've assigned you a new supervisor. You do everything she tells you to do. Don't go and make things up on your own." And it was true. For some reason, well, probably parental and all that, my supervisor would say something and I'd be like, "Well, I'll do it my way." It's not going to pass your PhD. You know? How do we balance that ability to, I got this with, but not fully. I do want some input and I'll be better because of it. How do we balance that?
Well, resilience is something that you learn to not break, for instance, but you learn how to bend with. There's something that you have to adapt carefully. Like, you don't go try and take everything on for yourself and goes, "I got this," when you don't, when you're like literally sinking and falling and crumbling on the ground, to go, okay, maybe I can offload a few things and ask for help and delegate a little bit and pass on and say, "I'm really struggling, I could do with some help." And that's just the balance of
that is resilience, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is exactly what resilience is. It's being able to bend with it. Oh, we're keeping you, Jono. This is a really great conversation, and we'll be back after some tips from our other guest experts.
I think that in itself has led to black men almost becoming conditioned. You know, it's like mental conditioning through the generations to be strong, to be silent, and to be stoic, right? We've always been, I look at my father, who was a beautiful man, and he, you know, if you looked at a picture of him and Muhammad Ali, they could almost be brothers, and he had beautiful green eyes, but he was always such a proud, strong man. And the only time I would ever see him experiencing pain or failure was when he had a bottle of whiskey in his hand and he was drinking, but he himself was unable to demonstrate, how do I talk to people about the challenges and pressures that he himself faced as a young father. And I think that also attributes to that silence. The silence is the thing that's hurting us.
Yes. Welcome back to Mental Health Matters After Hours. We have welcomed back one of our favourite guests. It's Jono Poon, and we are talking about vulnerability. We've had a really great discussion so far about the difference between vulnerability and weakness, and it's a really complex question to unpack, actually, vulnerability. So I'm going to just throw it open with letting all of us become a little bit more vulnerable. And this is a question to both of you, and I will answer as well. What would you say the personal quality you are most ashamed of? I'm not saying you're right to be ashamed of it or anything like that, but what is the personal quality that you're most ashamed of, and how does sharing that or just voicing it help? So,
oh gosh,
let's jump over to our guest.
I can go first.
Yes,
I'm happy to go first. My most shameful
to you, this is not shameful.
My most
yes.
shameful emotion that I struggled with was anger. That was something that I struggled with throughout my life, was keeping my anger in check. A lot of that was resentment. Over time I learned this was resentment to my parents because they didn't give me the love that I wanted, which was the care, the physical touch, the encouraging words, the supporting words and things that I wanted. But I learned that over time that they sacrificed a lot of their life was just working to provide for the family, for the house, for the bills and just living in general. And once I understood what their life was like, my growing up situation was like might not be ideal for some kids, but I learned to appreciate more of why they did what they did, and what they sacrificed was time with me. So we have a very big disconnection with our communication now, our intimacy, and how we communicate to each other about certain topics, beliefs and values. Everything's different. But we lack connection. So that's what's been sacrificed.
Wow.
But on the end of it, I've got to learn a lot about myself. I've got to learn how to serve and help other people. I got to learn how to express myself more fully, but also understanding all my emotions, my childhood, my anger, everything that kept me suppressed and playing small. So that got me to have more compassion, to lead myself and choose the way to lead going forwards. So there's that act of saying, yes, they left me alone when I was growing up because they worked in a Chinese takeaway for most of the time. And
yeah, gosh.
there's that gap where usually I didn't see my parents for most of the day. I see them when I maybe get up for school. Sometimes I didn't even get that, but when I got older, I started to go to school by myself. At least they stopped walking me to school, right? When you get older. So I had to learn to be independent a lot, which was the struggling of not asking for help, trying to do everything and go, I got this.
Yes.
Every time, everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I've learned over time that it's okay to ask for help and share my journey, because I know a lot of people are going through a similar journey in their lives, and the more I share, the more that people can relate to what I'm going through, what I went through. The easier it is for them to go, actually, I struggled with this too.
Yeah.
So that's my big shame, was anger, was not sharing that enough. But over the last few years, I have learned how to master more of it.
I think that's beautiful. And I think that really will help a lot of people, because you speak very openly and honestly about that over things which I think some people would still say, oh, I don't know whether I should be sharing this yet. But actually, I think voicing it does help. And it does, because it doesn't mean you love your parents any less. It means you understand them more. And I think that's really beautiful. And I think mine, for me, is I'm working on this, but I'm such a people pleaser, but I'm like over and above a people pleaser. So it's almost like if anyone even says they like me, I will give them everything. And I've made some really odd friends because of that. And I've stayed with those friends for longer than I should have, when you start thinking this is a really toxic relationship, I'm not happy with this doesn't work. And it's because I've got this weird misplaced sense of loyalty. But this, I know, I'm beginning to recognise, comes from, now, this is something I don't talk about a lot. My dad was a lovely, lovely person, but had narcissistic tendencies. Not a nasty narcissist, very generous, but a lot of the family circle revolved around him. So where I was conditioned was, you please him, but you please him before he asks to be pleased. You continue pleasing him because that is how you earn his love. That is the only way to do it. And I don't think I ever earned what I wanted as love, but and I see it in myself now. So I'm only at the stage of seeing it and recognizing it, not doing much about it. But that's the one that I know that I am working on right now. So yes, that's my. But sharing that hopefully, A, might help people understand me more, and B, it might help other people go, oh wait a minute, maybe my pleasing tendencies have come from my family. And also, when we talk about narcissism, they don't have to be serial killers, or they can be very benevolent, generous, nice people, but they can still have that level of control.
It's the trait of what they learn, how to help regulate or manage their life, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Okay, Jude.
I'm trying to decide which one to choose. I mean, there's a few, and actually I resonate completely with both of you. I'm definitely a people pleaser as well, and you know, we've talked about where that comes from. Similar to you, I guess. Something which, I mean, yeah, that I think oversharing. I don't know whether that's really what you're looking for, but that's something that really comes from.
Yeah.
I really overshare, and I know where that comes from. Like, because I'm late for everything, and it annoys me as much as it annoys my family and friends. I'm late, and then I get to where I'm going, and then I'm like, oh, well, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, to explain why I'm late, and to hopefully make the people go, oh, we understand, it's fine. But instead they're going, she's really annoying, because all she's doing is talking. Well, this is how I perceive them to be. She's just talking about, you know, everyone has things that happen in their life. Why is her thing so special? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's just, I find it very irritating about myself, and I really hate being late to everything. And it's only by a few minutes, so I could easily rectify it, but I don't seem to be able to. So I'm sorry to everyone. And I, you know, it just happens all the time.
They hear your whole journey.
Yeah. and then I go, oh, that happened because of that. So they hear everything.
But I think this is really important. This is an important discussion, because when we express our vulnerability like this, one of the next fears is other people are going to exploit that. So next time, you know, if you're late, I don't know. I know our studio team is not like this, but if we thought in a slightly different way, we could be like, oh yeah, let's make her tell that story. You know, let's ask her why she's late. And that's nasty and mean, because we know it's something that you worry about, and yet we're gonna, just to make ourselves feel good or whatever.
I mean, yeah, that could happen. I don't think anyone could hate myself more for doing it.
I think that's what people don't recognise.
Yeah, I really hate that in myself.
I don't think any all those mean girls or mean people out there.
Yeah.
I know it's mean, and it's not just girls.
No.
I don't think you realise that none of you can ever hate ourselves more than we criticise ourselves.
Exactly right.
That's a big deal. So for you, Jono, how? Let's look at exploitation. You know, why do people exploit our vulnerabilities, do you think?
I mean, some people do it out of control.
Yes.
Again,
yes.
Is something that they learned how to do, or something that they aren't aware that they're doing it in the first place. It could be a behavior, it could be the upbringing, it could be a sense of, for them, it could be, oh, I'm caring.
Yeah.
So it's their perception.
Yes.
But there's also how to use it. And this is where you've got to be careful about who you're sharing it to.
Yes.
Is this person that you know won't exploit you, won't aim digs at you, won't be mean to you? In fact, have someone who's supportive, someone who's willing to sit there and listen and support you and encourage you and try and help you.
And then doesn't have their own agenda.
That doesn't have an agenda. Other than just going, all right, okay, fair enough, you're late. How can we help?
That.
You know,
And if you want to help.
For me, I used to be late. I used to hate being late as well. So
really,
I set all my clocks to 15 minutes faster than the actual clock time itself. So then I give myself a good half an hour buffer in case anything happens. For instance, this morning, I left 45 minutes early. It takes normally about 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was stuck on
because everyone's out their cars
on the road for about 10
rain.
minutes because the rain. There was traffic. I don't know what happened. We just stopped for like 5 to 10 minutes, and I was very close to texting you. I'm going to be late.
You were 10 minutes early. You were 10 minutes early for the shoot.
But then it started moving. I was like, okay, it gave me buffer time.
Yeah.
So then I knew that.
Yeah.
I got on time.
That's so interesting, because you told me that story off camera, and it didn't occur to me that you might be feeling some of what I feel about being late.
I was
don't worry, it's raining.
I was about to So
Yeah.
listen, I'm going to be late. I might be late. I'm just
Interesting.
stuck in traffic.
That is interesting because, and this is slightly off the point, but there's been some research recently out of LSE that they found this emails. They say that basically on an email, we're very good at saying, this is urgent, come and deal with this now. But we fail to realise that when an email comes through, even if it's not urgent, it puts an anxiety onto the recipient. And that's what this researcher wanted to highlight, is to actually tell people, if it's not urgent, tell them it's not urgent, because the anxiety that the recipient feels is way higher than the person sending it even thinks could happen.
How
So
interesting.
we don't recognise that.
It's the same when I do go for job interviews and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I would at least give myself half an hour time.
Yeah.
I would arrive half an hour early
Yeah.
before the allocated time, just in case
Just in
anything
case.
happens again. I'm happy just to arrive early and just sit in the car for 15, 20 minutes
Yeah.
before even going in.
Yeah.
Even arriving 10 minutes in before your allotted time
Yeah.
could be seen as early or too early. But I'd rather be early than late, because I fear and I hate being late, and that's something that I recognised growing up was being punctual was something that I struggled with. So then I had to learn what ways I can ensure that I get there on time.
Gosh, well, we're going to keep you, and we will be back. I hope you're all thinking about vulnerabilities. We'll be back just after some tips from our other guest experts.
Culture shapes how we grieve, how we cope, and most importantly for men, how we ask for help.
Yes.
Okay. And a one-size-fits-all model ignores the very things that make us all unique, right?
Yes.
The things that keep us safe, that prevent us from going over the edge. That's the essence of appreciating and respecting cultural nuances. And if any intervention doesn't speak our language, literally or metaphorically, it's missing the mark.
Welcome back to Mental Health Matters After Hours, where we're talking to Jono Poon, our lovely Man Cave ambassador, about vulnerability. It's a really interesting discussion, really good. So how can we create a space for people to be vulnerable?
I think creating safe spaces is having an enclosed area, for instance, not open spaces, not in coffee shops and where people get in and out all the time. It's just like rooms or studios like this where you can just have conversations really and just being real with each other. I would say safe spaces could be something that, for instance, when you're gaming, when you're training, sometimes when you're training it could be just one-on-one with each other or someone else, and it's just being able to have that, I suppose, area where people can be real without feeling judged. Now, we do this at a man cave where we sit in a circle and you can share if you want to, and you don't have to share.
Yes.
So that's the beauty of it, is that you don't have to share. You can sit in the meeting for the whole thing and not say a word. Some people have been coming to the man cave for about 6 to 9 months and not shared.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But then they get to the point where they feel comfortable enough and go, actually, I feel safe enough now to share what's going on in my life. And that's not everyone is able to share on the first meeting. I did, because I was just comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I did a lot of training beforehand, so I was happy to just express myself. But again, everyone's on a different journey. So it's knowing where you are at and what you're comfortable sharing. And you don't have to tell everyone your life story. Not everyone has the right to know your full stories.
True.
True.
So share what you feel like they should know at this time. And that's a way of creating safe spaces, is just being able to listen.
Yeah. I just love the point that you said that people have been coming for 6 to 9 months, they've not shared. But the fact is they don't feel judged for not sharing. They're still coming. I think that's beautiful. That is the essence of a safe space. And the other one that you mentioned, which I don't think we think about enough, is actually coffee shops not the best places. And people are doing it because I get it. They have the cafes and things like that. And if you've enclosed off the cafe for that meeting, fine. But if you're having that meeting whilst the cafe's still running, icky. I think.
It's not very safe for everybody,
No.
is it? It's not confidential at all.
It's local, so people, it's you, you're here, why are you here?
Yeah, and then something struck me when you were saying about training as well. I mean, my personal trainer, he's moved away now, he's left me. But he was a great person to share with, and he shared with me, and it was brilliant because we're in our own little bubble, and it was really good.
Yeah.
You touched on culture before. Does vulnerability look different for different cultures, do you think?
Yeah, I think it looks different for... vulnerability is the same for everywhere, but it's different for every culture because of the meaning and the meaning we give it.
Yeah.
It's different in every culture. In the Chinese culture, at least for what I know and what I learned, is vulnerability is about shame, embarrassment, status, having that face where they need to be, I don't know, have it all together.
Yes.
Because they don't want to feel ashamed of not knowing
Yeah.
how to do car registration,
Yeah.
car insurance, bills in a different country.
Yeah.
It's
not even
perfectly
shameful.
normal.
It's not even shameful, is it? Yeah.
No.
In a country you don't know the language, it's normal for you to not know. At least for that's what I grew up with. And I know in other cultures it could be act of service. It could be doing a lot of things for people.
Yeah.
Their way of expressing vulnerability is act of service.
That's true.
So I think every culture is different. As I don't know enough about other cultures, but what I've seen traveling the world, a lot of it is things like being okay with sharing and expressing differently.
Yes, that's it. It's expressing differently. I think we need to be able to be good with that or better with that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's a good point. So do you think that self-awareness is as good as being vulnerable in the presence of others? So, for example, answering what really scares me, those type of questions in a journal rather than in a group context, is effective, do you think?
Yeah, so self-vulnerability when you're journaling about or meditating, whatever you're comfortable with, is, again, it's expressing to yourself what's going on in your life and capturing and documenting your thought process, because everyone's different.
Yes.
And everyone's got different patterns, everyone's got different behaviors, everyone's got different beliefs, everyone's got different upbringings, different values, different things that scare them. But once you start noticing what those are, you can go, oh, okay, so I'm always worried about, my anger coming up. What can I do to address my anger? Maybe play less games that's more ragey, like, for instance, online gaming, when I'm playing with other people, or when I'm playing shooting games, that's a very ragey game. Maybe cut those out and play things like, I don't know, adventures and storytelling and things that are a bit more calmer.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to address about meditation or having more peace in my life. So what activities can I do to address that? Maybe going to the gym where I get to calm and my body and my mind and build resilience, but also build my body at the same time, taking care of my health. These are things that I'm doing, by the way. So maybe it could be cold water plunge in the morning. So then that's regulating my nervous system in the morning. When I feel more calmer, I'm more regulated, I'm less likely to explode or be triggered by some sort of experience.
Interesting. Yeah.
It is. Because we had a guest who does cold water, she's on the channel, and she said exactly that. She said, if anyone tells me I can't go cold water swimming in the morning, I say to them, I will be a much better person for all around me if I go this morning, rather than you stopping me. So she 100% does that. And I smiled when you talked about the games, because I had a client who did exactly that. It was rage was one of the issues that he was dealing with. And he stopped playing one of these computer games that he knew wound him up.
Wow.
And that really helped. He started meditating as well now. So I'm glad you brought that one up, because it makes people feel less alone, because he felt funny, I think, talking about playing computer games because he's, in his 20s kind of thing. Nothing wrong with that. People do it, all the time. So I think I'm really glad you mentioned it.
Interesting that it had such an impact. Wow.
Huge.
Gosh, I would never have.
It made a
never
big
thought
difference.
that.
Made a big difference.
And are there some contexts where it's easier or better to be vulnerable? So, for example, if you're sitting in a car with somebody, you're side by side, there's no confrontational kind of aspect to it.
Yeah, so it does make it easier when you're not having intense eye contact with someone, when you're sharing your troubles, your challenges. So going for walks, you know, we do a lot of walk and talks at the Man Cave, and that's something that's very popular. You know, the hiking and stuff, you get to enjoy the pain of hiking, but also share your pain with other people at the same time. So that's the nice way of seeing hiking. But it's an experience. You get to, I think it's less pressured when you sit side by side with someone, or you're going for a walk, or you're training with the personal trainer, or even you're gaming because you're not seeing anyone, or maybe if you're not streaming, or you're not, you know, on the video with someone else that you know of, then it probably make it easier that you can talk about this stuff. And which is why I think for guys or girls or anyone that's gaming, it's a great platform, because we use voice chat and we're just talking to each other, but we have our voice cameras off, but we're still connected and talking to each other, but enjoying the process. So yeah, it is easier when you're sharing with less eye contact, for sure. I agree with that one.
And that's, again, it backs up something that Dr. Joanne Du, she talks about. She's trying to change how therapy is perceived in the Asian community. She herself is Chinese, and she said the NHS kept telling her, the Asian community is just not picking up, Asian as in East Asian communities, just it's all there, it's all available, but no one's going there. And she said, yeah, that's because we sit staring at each other. No one wants to do it. So that's why she pioneered Chinese calligraphy mindfulness. And so what she does is she opens a session with calligraphy. And with that, people write down certain words, which of course might have a different meaning in Chinese compared to Western language. And so she can then see the deeper meaning and then start the conversation around that. So much easier to have conversations. And I think this is where systems need to look at cultures and look at people and say, well, it's not because it's not accessible, it's just, or available, it's just people don't understand that way of therapy. It's very westernized, and I think the walk and talk, absolutely brilliant. So I know you mentioned oversharing. Can oversharing be a problem when it comes to being vulnerable, or does that say more about the person judging it as oversharing? Because I think sometimes you have to give context if you're explaining something. So I don't know. I think it. I think it says more about the people, but I could be wrong.
Oversharing, again, that's how you see it, right?
Yeah.
If you're sharing it to connect,
yes,
or if you're sharing it to get validation and approval,
yes.
So there's that context. Is if you're sharing, are you sharing it to connect with someone else, or are you sharing it because you want the approval or validation from someone else because what's happened?
Yeah.
So that's I think the balance between the both.
Yeah.
Which is very subtle.
It's beautiful. No, that's absolutely spot on. Because I think, and you can tell, I think you can tell when people are oversharing to get approval or validation or some kind of pat on the back or whatever, compared to, I think that's almost a frantic oversharing of, this has happened, this has happened. And then you actually, you feel that energy of, oh my goodness, just sit down. It's okay. You know, whatever's making you tell me all of this, that's okay too. But it's a very different energy.
Yeah.
And you think but I think it's an important question to just sort of ask.
That's a really good question, actually.
Just because I think people can do both.
You touch upon the energy as some of them could be sharing because they're overwhelmed.
Yes.
It could be things like, for instance, I just got burgled. That happened. Like, and then you're oversharing every detail there is because you don't know what your nervous system is now just spiked completely up. You're like, share everything and goes, I don't know what to do. But then you could be saying, another side of that is, I just got burgled, but then reflecting upon it, nothing got lost. Yeah. Nothing got damaged. It was only a few, rumbling around the house and all that stuff. Maybe I replaced a few locks, but improved security.
Yeah.
So there's that different energy that you're talking about, the reflecting of it, but then there's the overwhelming, all the details.
Yeah.
Yes. Or there's the attention-seeking energy, which is, well, I got burgled.
Yeah.
And it's a very different tone, and it's a very different feel to it. No, I love that. And I think that's absolutely right. It's the intention. Again, we need to look at what's driving that. And your point about nervous system is really, really good. So on that, what are your top tips for balancing that vulnerability with our resilience and actually keeping our nervous system in check a little bit?
Yeah, so my top tips for that would be just to pause before you share. Am I sharing to connect, or am I sharing for validation or approval for something that has happened? Number 2 would be find something that would help you regulate your nervous system, whether it's meditation, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's cold water therapy, wherever it is, find something that works for you. Yeah. And I've played around with loads of different tools, and I just use all them all.
Okay, fair enough.
I just use them all, guys. So there isn't a set thing that I
think that's great.
It's just good variety. Sometimes I change it up. Sometimes I could do meditation for 20, 30 minutes. Yeah. Sometimes it could be just cold water therapy for 10 minutes in the water, or 5 minutes, wherever, how cold it is. And sometimes it's just hitting the gym and the training, or going to training for kickboxing and stuff. So everyone's got different ways of regulating. Some it could be even just Lego, for instance.
Yeah. Therapeutic. Yeah.
For sure.
Gaming.
Yeah.
Doing something you love, arting, drawing, dancing, ways of expression.
Yeah.
Find something that works for you.
You see, again, I think that's really important for people to hear, because so often it's a bit, maybe it's the influencer thing, it's just yoga, just do cold water, because sometimes it might be practical that you can't get to the cold water therapy place, or you can't go to yoga because the yoga studio is shut. And you have to have a lot of different things that you can just pull from and go, well, this made me feel better. I'll just see if this works. And things like even breathing. I know one of our other past guests says, well, you take your lungs everywhere with you, so you never have that excuse.
Breath work is very, very good one.
Yeah, so important. But and where can we learn more about you? Follow and learn about the Man Cave as well.
Yeah, so if you just follow me on social, it's just Jono Poon. If I'd done my social media and my internet marketing stuff correctly, you should see me.
You will.
And then on Man Cave, we do everything in Milton Keynes and surrounding areas. So we currently just search Man Cave UK on social media, and we'll be around to help support.
Amazing, and we are keeping Jono for Test the Trend. So for today's Test the Trend, I wanted to give some tips, and maybe this is where I wanted to keep Jono, some tips on how to improve our relationship with resilience and challenge, and trying things that are scary or painful, potentially, if we're talking about physical personal training. And this is because I was reading Anti-Fragile recently. It's a book by Nicholas Taleb. And he talks about humans, that we are anti-fragile. The more we're tested to a point, don't use that to become toxic, but to a point, the more anti-fragile we become, the stronger we become, the more capable we become, the better we are at dealing with whatever. However, the way of the world today, the amount we protect children, the amount we do things for them, the amount we say, oh, don't do that will hurt, we are turning people, humans, who are anti-fragile into fragile beings. And so it's this continuum. You've got the anti-fragile being, you've got the fragile being, and you've got kind of robust in the middle where poke it as much as you like, it's just not going to bend, break, because it's there going, I can cope, I've got this. That's not healthy either. So my question is, how do we help humans, or even parents who are teaching humans, to not worry so much about doing everything for them? Let them fall over once or twice, it's okay, How do we change that mindset? How do we help people just say, and challenge is all right?
I feel like we live in a world where challenge isn't being appreciated enough.
Yes.
So what I mean by that is doing the hard stuff, being comfortable facing pain, endurance, discipline.
Yes.
So these are things about training, being healthy, but also being consistent with it as well.
Yes.
And doing hard stuff like cold water therapy, like for instance, when I first started, I hated it. I was in there for about 30 seconds. I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
But the more I sat in it day by day, I build up resilience and the consistency to sit through 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then be comfortable in it.
Yeah.
Depending on how cold it is. But you build that resilience.
You build the anti-fragility for it. Yeah.
Same with training and learning about new things. You don't become an expert overnight, right? We have this instant expectation to become an expert in one day.
Yeah.
That's not how mastery or craft works.
Yeah.
You don't become a carpenter overnight. It's something that you craft for years. To become a dance overnight. It's something you have to learn day by day, every week by week, in different techniques. You don't become a world champion in kickboxing overnight. It's something that's developed over years and decades.
Yeah.
And it's something to be okay with failing.
Yes.
And trying new things.
Yes.
The reason why I try so many things, I've been picking up different hobbies like mountain climbing, hiking, archery, kickboxing, and because I'm learning to challenge myself to learn different things.
Yes.
And be comfortable with being poor.
Yeah.
And being terrible. And being a complete newbie and be like, I have no idea. Like, I just shoot an archery and like an arrow would just go over where it's supposed to go and be like, that's cool, that didn't work, let's try something else. We forget how to have fun and embrace failing and trying different things, because a lot of people don't want to try things because they would look stupid.
Yes.
And again, that's the face, the embarrassment, the shame.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're having it for your first go. Don't expect to be an expert. But if it's something you enjoy, stick with it, have fun with it, play with it, craft it, learn it, master it. Cool.
And it will get better. I think you're absolutely right, actually, that we, as adults, it's the shame, it's the saving face, it's the I don't want to look stupid. And then we do one of two things. We either don't do it anymore at all, or we make such a big we live in our head about it. Oh, I'm just rubbish at that. And I know I catch myself doing that, which I've tried to stop now, because I'm doing something new. I've picked up Duolingo and I'm trying to teach myself Chinese.
I've been doing that.
Oh my goodness, I'm on level 7. I'm quite proud of that. I can just say that I do maths, But I do it every single day, otherwise I annoy the owl. The owl gets very upset. It's a little angry face. But seriously, I am now watching a soap opera in Chinese, it's in Mandarin.
Oh, wow.
And I can now pick out some of the words that they're saying without having to look at the subtitles. And I'm really proud of that.
Amazing.
I know the story anyway, so I think that helps.
Yeah.
But to be able to not just pick out the words, but to hear when the sounds are actually different. I've never got that far before, because I've tried Chinese classes and I've left. I've tried doing it by myself and I've just stopped. But it's a really good thing to just go, okay, I'm just going to do it.
That's amazing. That's really amazing.
But that's the little things that you try consistently every day. And just a few minutes a day. Even if you're training, for instance, you're getting back into training.
Yes.
Instead of doing 20 push-ups, just do 5.
Yes.
Do 2.
Yes.
Exactly. Just do one.
Just do one. Like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is gets you through to challenge yourself that you feel you're not there yet. There's something to push yourself. It's okay.
So that is our Test the Trend challenge. Do something new, even if it is just for 5 seconds in a day. Try something new for you. Well, we've come to the end of another show, and it's just been such a fascinating show. I kind of don't want the conversation to end. It's just been so great chatting with you, and it's always such a lovely energy in here with you as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for bringing that. So what struck you today in the conversation?
That it's not easy to be vulnerable.
Yes.
For different reasons. I have a similar kind of thing where I don't ever ask for help. I've been like it since a child. No, I can do it, and I'm still like that now. So it's not easy to be vulnerable and to kind of ask for help. But what I've learned is that there's lots of reasons behind that, and also there's lots of ways that you can be vulnerable without going to the extreme, which is what I tend to do.
But that's okay. It's okay to be aware of that, I think. And then for me, I never realised, and I know I've done this show for 2 years, but how important it is, probably because your story resonates with me personally, that when you share your experiences, your lived experiences, you don't know who that might connect with. Because we've had so many guests on this show, but I know, because I think our backgrounds are relatively similar, when you spoke about vulnerability and I got this, immediately I went, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And it allowed me the opportunity to talk about that and ask about that, which I wouldn't had the context not... I've never mentioned that in other shows.
No.
Because the situation wasn't there. So thank you for sharing your story and to keep on doing that, because it does resonate. And that's why I think it is important to keep having these conversations, because it will connect with someone.
Well, that's it. If it connected so strongly with you, it will have connected with other people.
To allow me to then add to the conversation.
Yes.
So I think that's really important too. So we're going to give our last word to you, Jono, though. Please, can you give us some questions that we can ask ourselves to start a personal exploration of vulnerability?
First question I start off with would be, what do you love? So what do I love, for instance? I love helping people, I love inspiring people, I love sharing my stories, because I don't know who it could help. Like, that's what I do. What's that for you? So find out what sparks you wherever you go, what gets you up every day. That's probably another way of rephrasing it. Number 2 would be, what challenges are you having that you feel like you could improve on? So, for instance, it could be expressing. For me, it was definitely expressing about anger, emotions, and everything that I was going through my whole nervous system in general. So, find out what that is for you. And then number 3 would be, find something that challenges you every day. Whether it's learning a new language, whether it's learning a dance or a craft or an art or whatever it is. Find something that challenges you mentally. Or could be physically.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a massive challenge.
Doesn't do too much.
Even with Duolingo, I literally, sometimes one lesson is 1 minute 30 because I've managed to get through it. Not get through it, I actually getting it right, But it's 1 minute 30. That's nothing in a day to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, does it?
And I think one other thing that we haven't actually mentioned in this segment, which I think we need to, is consistency.
Yes.
You mentioned it whilst you were talking, but I think that consistency of doing that, whatever that is so important, because I think everyone can just do it, I'll just do it the once. But being consistent builds up something in us.
Builds that resilience as well. That's what it builds. And once you have the consistency, you have the momentum. And that momentum is what creates the results. And then when you get results, you start seeing, oh wow, this is what I achieved. You sort of reflect back on it. You just start looking back. Similar to when we do martial arts, we have the grading system. You look back over the years, it's like, oh wow, over the year I'm now a green belt. This is what I achieved. And it's like, if I didn't start that, I wouldn't have achieved nothing. Something to see for it. Like physically, but also mentally, but also everything. And people you meet as well, and people you train with, and it's just having that quality of life.
Yes.
I think we get overwhelmed with being vulnerable and mental health, and we stop forgetting to have fun while doing this. Sometimes, yes, it can be overwhelming, whatever your challenge is. I'm not saying it's great or it's bad, whatever it is. This is how you define it. But it's something you have to look at and go, can I have fun doing this? Can I have fun challenging this? Can I have fun overcoming this weakness or vulnerability or some problem that I'm having? And the answer is yes. It's the meaning you give it. So change that perspective. It's not bad, nor good. It's your perspective. But change that and go, can I tackle it with fun? How can I make it fun? Like Duolingo is a great thing. Like the owl's mad and all that stuff, and it goes, oh, you done it wrong, try again in a bit. Cool.
Check on your mistakes.
Yeah, you got to check your mistakes, redo it again. It's like, fine, I'll do that. But then it's like, that's how you learn and grow.
Yeah.
Martial arts, we don't get every kick, every right?
No.
But that's how you practice. Something that's just what life is learning and being okay with failing. And
Yes. Actually, that makes you the best teachers as well, if you're
Yes.
just okay with that and not
Yeah.
trying to hide it. Oh my goodness, Jono, we could talk to you all day. But we are out of time. You will come back and join us again.
Yes. Thank you very
Amazing. From all of us here at Mental Health Matters After Hours, have a good night.